Y'all just missed Gabby. She made her entrance a little bit early this time, and her appearance a little early. I tried to get the camera and everything set up. That's why I take the time to do the computer for the back here. Um, she made her cameo and then left. It's like, goddamn. Good morning, everybody. Today is the 4th day of June 2024. It is 8:20 in the morning on a nice day down here in Tampa, Florida. I took yesterday because I posted some stuff. One thing I posted on Alex Jones we'll talk about today. But I posted some stuff and I spent the rest of the day doing house stuff and then going to talk to my orthopedic surgeon. We've got that worked out. There's a date set. I will let you guys know after the fact. But they are going to replace both of my knees because they're trash. And I'm going to have to be going through a bunch of crap between now and then to get it done. Anyway, I'll let you know how that goes. And hopefully I'll be in the 80 percentile, the large group that's very happy that they got it done. It really boils down to quality of life question, and this is a progressive thing, like COPD, like a lot of things. It's a progressive thing, and do I want to address it or just let it keep getting worse and worse and worse and worse? And so I've decided to address it anyway. That was yesterday, and today is today. So I'll keep you guys informed as we go along. Anyway, let's move on. Let's talk about what I wrote yesterday about Alex Jones. I said Alex Jones has gone full Cyraxx, and there's going to be some links to some Cyraxx stuff down below. You can see exactly what I'm talking about. There were a number of people on the alt media, in the left especially, who were like, "Oh my God, Alex Jones is blah 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 blah," and on the right they're like, "Oh, poor Alex." It's somewhere in between, folks, and I know from which I speak. Alex Jones, InfoWars, Prison Planet. I don't know if Prison Planet's still up. Back in the day when I was writing, before I started doing videos, the website that was erased by WordPress after 11 years, Alex Jones's InfoWars and Prison Planet frequently would take my writing and post it on their website. I never met the man, never spoke to the man, never had any communication whatsoever with him. I have spoken with his lawyer. His lawyer was helpful in my deposition down here in Tampa, that 7-hour fucking deposition. His lawyer listened to my entire deposition and actually spoke up. And the attorney from O'Malvern, said, "You can't do that." He goes, "Well, I've already done it." And he listened to my entire deposition. And it was a good deposition. Anyway, he actually offered me some free advice during that. Basically saying, if I had an attorney there present, which I couldn't afford, I was representing myself. But because it was a deposition in a case involving Alex Jones and other people, other lawyers were listening. They were allowed to listen and, of course, get the recordings. The recording would have cost me $2,700 just to get a recording of it. That's how this shit works. Just so you know, that's how our legal system works. Anyway, so I've had communication with him. Yes, I was, full disclosure, I was sued alongside Alex Jones and a number of others. Lee Stranahan for one, the guy from Jim Hoft from Gateway Pundit for another, and others. In a case that ended up being settled by most, and they settled with me for nothing because I have nothing. And I told them, I said, "Listen, you're gonna, take what I offer, which is this, or I'll go to court, and it'll be O'Malvern, $1 billion a year law firm, and the State Department, which was behind the whole goddamn thing, versus a broken down fucking disabled conspiracy theorist blogger who, by the way, has a right to talk about somebody who made themselves into a public figure. If you want to take that to trial, be my guest. But I'm not settling for anything. And so, because all the others had dropped out, I said, but something tells me O'Malvany doesn't want to spend, whatever $200,000 on you, because the vice president of one of the vice presidents of O'Malvany was actually down here for the deposition talking to me. Very nice guy. Very nice guy. Even offered to take us all out for drinks and a bite to eat afterwards, because he was down in Tampa and was going to spend the night, and, wanted to take us all out. But it's a very nice guy. Don't get me wrong. But he knew. And I said that in the fucking, in the deposition. If that's what you want to do, then that's what you're going to do. You're going to end up. Well, I said that in one of the subsequent meetings afterwards. I said everybody else is settled. Everybody else is paying X amount of dollars. Everybody else is settled. I can't. I can't. You expect something from me. You can't get it from me. You can't get blood from a turnip. So I'm not going to fucking agree to that. I'll take it to trial. And he knew I was serious. And he knew damn well I had him over barrel, because I knew O'Malvany was not going to pay $200,000 to have that dude and all of his crew come get together and go down to wherever it was in Charlottesville to have that fucking that trial. I also told him, I said, and because I can barely afford to get up there, I certainly can't afford to have an apartment or a hotel up there while this thing is taking place. There's going to be the added bonus for you guys that you're going to be going after a disabled, poor, former fucking carpenter turned journalist, independent journalist, who is sleeping in a tent outside the courtroom. Living in a tent outside the courtroom. I told him, I said, you think, what was the guy's name? Larry something. Larry fucking from remember when that motherfucker from Hustler was being sued, and he showed up in his wheelchair in court wearing the American flag as a diaper? Who was that guy? I said, yeah. I told him, I said, I remember his name then. I said, if you think that was a fucking show, was a wild show, you wait. Be out there cooking oodles and noodles, talking to the press all night long, just like I did during that deposition. You wait and see. And they wanted no part of that. I'm sure the guy suing did. I'm sure the State Department did. But again, they all work for big business, and O'Malvany's big business. You ever ask yourself why O'Malvany, a multi-billion dollar a year fucking law firm, now $1 billion law firm then, a year in revenue, would take up this dude's defamation trial for nothing, do it for free? You ever wonder why that is? You ever wonder how many fucking contracts O'Malvany has with the State Department? Something interesting to look into. This is how our system works. People are, on the left especially, the fake left, the controlled left, the limited hangout left, the controlled opposition left. People on the left, like Kyle Kulinski and Cenk and many others, are all making fun of Alex Jones's little fucking tirade the other day. As did I. But I did so in a way that was dealt only with his fucking bad acting. What did I say? You never go full Cyraxx. And you don't. And if you don't know who Cyraxx is, there's links down below. You can pull it up and watch. And don't say, oh my God, you're taking advantage of this guy. He's disabled. Cyraxx is a monster. And you can think that today. You can say, oh, he's just disabled. He was born on with 2 strikes against him already, as opposed to being born on third base. All that is true. All that is true. But what he has developed himself into, Cyraxx is a monster. Cyraxx is a liar. Cyraxx performs. He thinks he's an actor. He thinks he can manipulate people. Very much like Alex Jones. Alex Jones has been very successful at it. Cyraxx less so. But I'm not going to show you clips of Cyraxx. I'm not going to show you the clips of Alex Jones. I will show you the article that I started off with, talking about you never go full Cyraxx. And you don't. Especially when you're raging 1 second and then you're pretending to cry, weep, 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 the next. I will show you this one.
At the end of the day, we're going to beat these people. I'm not trying to be dramatic here, but it's been a hard fight.
This is the same fucking broadcast. It's not just the same day and the same clothes. It's the same goddamn broadcast. Fuck you, you want a war, I'll give you a war. And that's, if you go here, Cyraxx raging, Cyraxx fake crying, you'll see he does the same thing. He'll do the same fucking thing. He'll do the same thing. He'll do a video where he's like, oh, I give up, I can't take it anymore. And he peeks through his little fingers to look at the fucking, he's doing these live streams, he goes to peek through his fingers to see what the comments are, if they're buying into him, trying to get some sympathy. I'm going to quit, I'm done, I'm just going to leave YouTube forever. And then, 35 minutes later, he's on a live stream raging. I'm going to do this and that, and I'll kill you, blah, 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 blah. I'm not going anywhere. And then, 30 minutes later, you never go full fucking Cyraxx, okay? You don't. Because when you do, it makes you look like a jackass. But then again, as I said in my article, that is always been his fucking task. I know Alex Jones. I've been doing this a long time. Longer than Kyle Kulinski. Longer than Cenk. Okay? I want to play you a little bit of Kyle Kulinski and Cenk. Just certain fucking videos, certain clips, not even a whole clip. I just want to show you to get you a taste of what we're talking about here. Okay? Now there's a reason I'm doing this. Just hang on. There's a reason. I'm not just punching up. I'm actually punching down when it comes to Kulinski and fucking TYT. Because, who gives a shit about fucking subscribers and views? They're talking about intellect. Talking about understanding and honesty. Okay? And in both of those cases, in both of those categories, I'm definitely punching down when it comes to Kyle Kulinski and Cenk. We'll start with Kulinski. Okay, first of all, nice fucking bleach blonde hair. I don't understand. I want to go to the very end. He sits there and he smugly looks at his laughing. And he just smokes his fucking vape. Here's another thing. How much of this shit did I watch? Rolling his eyes. He's rolling. Wait, what the fuck? It's back here. Hang on a second. I think it's back here.
More calls. Go ahead. There's an expert.
All right. So first thought, Alex is back on the sauce, right? That's what I think. And the reaction has that sort of written all over it, right? It's kind of amazing because when he's not on the sauce, he just functions so much better. Like his ability to talk, his ability to make a point, even though he's saying things that are, of course, totally untrue, but he'll make a cogent point. When he's on the sauce, you get stuff like this, bro. You get stuff like this. So all over Twitter the other day, it was like, Alex Jones fighting to defend the studio. The feds are trying to seize the studio. I even saw, one of those like weird, bizarre news accounts that like popped up relatively, like the Censored Men account or Suppressed News or something like that. One of them was like, they're trying to seize Alex Jones's studio, and this comes immediately after he started viciously criticizing Israel.
Okay. we'll talk about the timeline of these lawsuits. We'll talk about, I want to play both his clip and fucking Cenk, the end of Cenk Uyghurs. Okay? I don't really give a rat's ass what they think about Alex Jones's performance because they both buy it. They both said he was raging 1 minute and weeping the next. He's clearly not weeping. It's an act. What he's doing is an act. He is a sideshow barker. He is a carnival barker. He's a rain man. He's a rainmaker. Okay? These morons. And what is he staring at? He always looks right there. He's looking at himself. He's that fucking vain. The camera is over here, Kyle. Okay? What are you looking at? Yourself? Because this is not done live. You're not reading comments. You're just staring at yourself and smiling with your fucking bleach blonde hair. Jesus Christ, what is wrong with you? Even Alex Jones won't do that. Back in the day, Jones did. He had a monitor set up on his desk on the side. He would always stare at himself when he was looking at himself, when he was doing his big, wild, fucking crazy. He also, Cyraxx also does the okay voice, the monster voice, like Alex Jones does as well. It's just a fucking act. It's just an act, which he doesn't seem to get. However, he wouldn't get it because he's spending so much time staring at himself and his nice little earrings in the fucking in the video. Stop looking at yourself, you dumb fuck. Anyway, so now he's saying that how dare him suggest that maybe Alex Jones's take on what's going on in Gaza has anything to do with this. Listen to his logic. Listen to the logic that he puts forward.
So they're trying to link it to like
he's just staring at himself.
His criticism of Israel, and that's why they're seized. Come on.
He can't stop staring at himself.
Alex has done like 1/10 the criticism of Israel that I've done on this show, and the feds are not knocking down my door and dragging me out in handcuffs, bro. They're not trying to seize my assets. It's got nothing to do with it. Come on, don't. I hate fucking narrative humpers, right? They created like a sexy narrative of Alex Jones standing up to Israel, and that's why they're coming after him, right?
That's the validity of his argument. That's the strength of his argument. That, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, is called controlled opposition. Limited hangout. Okay? We'll talk about the timeline of the lawsuits. October 2021 ruling. November 2021 ruling. Lawsuits did not go to trial. Both lawsuits had a judge issue a verdict as they were picking fucking jurors. In one case, and they hadn't even done that in the other case. Because they had asked for something the Jones people couldn't fucking produce. Both cases, and in both cases, because they had asked for something Jones's people couldn't produce, the judges said, well, you're guilty. You talk about a kangaroo court. You talk about a fucking rigged jury trial. There wasn't even a rigged jury trial. It was just, oh, that's it. You don't go to trial. Don't allow Alex Jones to go before a jury and say, I believed what I was saying at the time, and because the family members were running around and getting in front of cameras and saying, take everybody's guns, they made themselves public figures. If I believed what I was saying, and they were making themselves public figures, and I am a news broadcaster, then I have every right to say what I fucking said. These are our laws. Not just the Constitution, these are our laws. And I know what I'm speaking about because I was sued for something similar. Okay? I understand the law. They couldn't have those, aside from what Jones and his people asked for in disclosure for the fucking trials, the actual documents regarding what happened to that day, which of course they didn't want to have to produce. Aside from that, forget that. The mere fact that we have a right as journalists to be wrong, as long as it's not something that we're lying about. There's a quote in one of these things. Basically what they're saying is this. This is what they said. Lawyers accused conspiracy theorists of profiting from false claims. He wasn't making false claims. They have to be claims that you know were false when you made the claims. You were deliberately deceiving people. That is something you can take action about. But if Alex Jones believed it and and can show where he believed it, then you can't convict him, and you can't silence him, and you can't shut him down being a conspiracy theorist. So, both of those trials, which neither Cenk nor fucking Kyle Kulinski explained to you, didn't go to trial. They had a summary judgment, both of them, the one in Texas with 2 families and the one in fucking Connecticut with 8. That's 10. 10 families of 24 people killed. 4 adults, 20 children. 10. That's not even half. If you go read any of the fucking things about these cases, they say many of the families, not all, but many. Less than half is not many. You can say several, but you can't say many. Many implies a plurality, implies more than 51%. That's many. They didn't have 51% of the families involved in even those actions, much less the one that was filed June 2nd. We'll talk about that too. But here's the deal, Kulinski. We'll put Kulinski to bed before we deal with fucking Cenk. Kulinski's fucking assumption that they're doing this, they couldn't be doing this because of fucking his stance on Gaza and Hamas and it being a genocide, which is what he said it was, couldn't possibly be true because Kyle does so much more work saying it's a genocide and hasn't from the past, and they haven't shut him down. Oh, good God Almighty. This is so fucking stupid. If I have... I hope Kyle Kulinski's fucking audience watches this. And Cenk Uyghur's. Let me explain something to you. I'm going to go have surgery on my knees. Okay? There are doctors who specialize on the eyes. I'm not going to have an eye doctor go do my fucking knees. By the same token, I'm not going to hold an eye doctor to some kind of say, why can't you work on my knees? Because the other doctor's working on your doctor, you can work on my knees. They're different kinds. They serve different functions. Alex Jones and Kyle Kulinski serve different functions. Do you understand the concept? Different functions. The alt-right, the fucking Steve Bannon / Breitbart News / that network, as opposed to the Max Blumenthal alt-fucking left, Hillary Clinton, Sidney Blumenthal network that Kyle Kulinski is part of, they serve different fucking functions in terms of keeping different groups of people who have different fucking thought processes in line. You understand? You get me? You're with me so far, Kyle Kulinski fans? Good. Trying to compare him and what he does to what you do, totally different things. Both doctors, different types, different practices, different practices, okay? Different disciplines. The problem with Alex Jones's side is that Alex Jones's side on the alt-right, they're supposed to be pro-Israel. They're supposed to be, screw the fucking Arabs, screw them, the Muslims, 9/11. So they're supposed to be on the side of glorious Israel, especially Alex Jones. Alex Jones, again, this is from my history and my knowledge, which Kyle Kulinski certainly doesn't share. Alex Jones used to brag in the 9/11 days. Used to brag about how he had connections in Mossad who would give him information. Breitbart was born in fucking Tel Aviv. There are pictures of Andrew Breitbart sitting there with fucking Benjamin Netanyahu at a table. That's where it was conceived of. And Alex Jones was brought up into that. He was crafted by former Air Force intelligence. But he was brought up, and then he got into that fucking orbit around fucking Breitbart and around fucking Steve Bannon, and of course Steve Bannon and Trump and all of that. This is his sphere. This is his world. This world is very much pro-Israel. And all of a sudden, here is fucking one of the largest influencers in that orbit coming out and saying back in March, Israel's committing a fucking genocide. Holy fucking shit. A guy who bragged about having Mossad connections, was created by fucking Air Force intelligence in the first place, hung out with and promoted and was cross-promoted by Breitbart and Steve Bannon and that whole network of pro-Israel Zionist networks. Here he comes out and fucking commits treason in their eyes. And Kyle Kulinski thinks Kalinski's supposed to fucking tell that him. He's supposed to come out on the side of fucking ceasefire. Of course, he's supposed to come out on the side of ceasefire, but also say to all the people watching, Israel is committing a genocide, but Hamas, they're evil dictators that kill their own people. That's his job. That's his role. His limited hangout. You understand? It's different. I'm not going to hold my optometrist accountable because she can't fix my goddamn knees, Kyle. You idiot. Stop looking at yourself in the goddamn monitor, you fucking vain moron. You with me? Let's move on. Dipshit. Dipshit. I got my fucking things here. Dipshit. I got my dog and my cat. Dipshit. Sorry. He's a dipshit. So that's Kyle. TYT. Now we're going to talk about this, and you're going to hear me say some things. You're going to hear me say some things you might not like hearing me say, but we're going to do it anyway.
Right? But now, looking to save on your internet bill? Spectrum is designed to
no. Fuck you. Oh, God, get out of the way. Fucking piece of shit. Where are we?
Anyone else getting hurt ever.
That's a good point.
But the minute that his own finances are hurt, and he's
okay, that's not it.
And April's not necessarily a good month in digital media. So, but let's just times it by 12. That's 15.6. You take away 8.5 from that.
All right, wait a minute.
Proposal that Jones liquidate his assets or pay them. That's a good deal for Alex Jones.
I do, because look at the math. I just did.
$1 million.
Yeah.
So with those details in mind, Cenk, you still think that's a good deal for Alex Jones?
I do, because look at the math. I just did it.
Okay. It's hard for me to find. There is I'll show you a link in a second where they have this written down. He is pushing Alex Jones to take this deal. The families counter with the proposal. The families. This is the ones from June 2nd. Counter with a proposal that Jones liquidate his assets or pay them. Liquidating his assets would mean that InfoWars has to be busted up and sold for fucking it's you know on the auction block, and there's no more fucking InfoWars. He would just make another one, but it would liquidate his assets or pay them at least $8.5 million annually for 10 years plus 50% of any income over $9 million. Cenk will tell you in this video, and there's links to him down below. Cenk will tell you in this fucking video that that's a good deal, paying 50% of his profits. That's not jackass. He says he has filed, he makes $16 million profit each year. So $8.5 million a year annually to the families. Cenk goes, well, that's just half. You can live off just half. That's just your profits. That's not the case. Then after $9 million, it's 50% above that. 50% of everything above $9 million. So of the remaining $7 million, they get half of that. So you're talking about 75% of his fucking profits. 75% of his fucking profits. And Cenk Uygur thinks that that's a good deal for Alex Jones. He should take that. Let me ask you guys a question. This is how stupid fucking Cenk Uygur is. Because he's also a limited hangout controlled asset of this fucking system. He doesn't tell you, first of all, again, that the two cases involved 8 families from the 8 victims. There were 24, remember, 26, one of the two. And then that's one in Connecticut, and then in Texas, in Houston, there were families of 2 victims. That's a total of 10 out of 24 or 26, I can't remember. 20 children, the rest who knows. That's not even half. And he doesn't tell you that these weren't cases that went to a jury and the jury found him guilty and then decided he had to pay. No. These were both cases that were decided on a technicality, both cases where someone was told to ask for this because he can't provide it. So they asked for it. He says, I can't provide that. Judgment. I swear to God that's what happened. Look it the fuck up. Actually, I have links down below. That's the kangaroo court system we live in. Okay? That's like having $1 billion law firm take up this dude's case, defamation case, for free. That's like O'Malveny sending a vice president who makes multiple millions of dollars a year, and a very smart fucking guy, a guy who was like a chief prosecutor against serious fucking criminals, corporate criminals, fucking big pharmaceutical companies, down to see me in fucking Tampa, Florida, and spend 7 hours deposing me. And I couldn't even afford a lawyer. I couldn't even afford to get down there and back. And both of these motherfuckers act as if they don't tell you that part. They should tell you that part. Even though they disagree with Alex Jones, but because Alex Jones is a conspiracy theorist. Would you like to know something else, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen? Let me read you something. You might find it interesting. Cass Sunstein, Barack Obama's regulatory czar, on how to stop conspiracy theorists. We can readily imagine a series of possible responses. 1, government might ban conspiracy theorizing. Fuck that First Amendment. Or 2, government might impose some kind of tax, financial or otherwise, on those who disseminate such theories. How would they impose a tax, I wonder? Cenk Uygur's suggestion that that Alex Jones just hand over 75% of his profits to not 24 families. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 last names are mentioned in this action. Which you can get to, by the way. Here. These 2 links right here. Judge has put a hold on this until the 14th or 15th of June. Okay? This one right here will take you to where there's a link. It's a PDF. You can open the PDF and actually read the court filing. Okay? And so I wrote down the 8 last names involved in that case. Then I went to CNN and I pulled up the list of all the fucking victims from Sandy Hook. You know what I noticed? 5. Of the 8 last names, there are 5 families of 5 victims of Sandy Hook. 5. Not 8. 5. And of them, 1 is an adult. And that would be Victoria Sato. Several different last names involved in, boyfriend, husband, parents, all that. Several different people. So now we're not even with the 8 families and the 2 families. Now we're down to the families of 5, but only 4 kids. 4 kids. Of 20. And again, when they write about this, families of many of them. 4. 4. By the way, Posner isn't one of them, interestingly enough. Just thought I'd share that with you. So, what's going on here? Somebody's suggesting that Alex Jones should hand over 75% of the profits for perpetuity 10 years. And then, of course, he'll get more because other families will say, well, it's easy money. I'll jump on that. Here's my question. First of all, it's just ridiculous. But here's my question. 4. These are families of 4 doing this to him June 2nd, trying to get him shut down. Remember, this was October. The verdict was issued October of 2021 and November 2021, and respectively the Texas case with 2 families and the Connecticut case with 8. Why all of a sudden now, out of nowhere, are they saying are they issuing an emergency order to liquidate InfoWars? Why? Why now? Well, you could argue that they had to figure out a way to tax him because, I don't know, maybe because Alex Jones was having an effect getting people on the alt-right to recognize the fact that Israel's actions were in fact mass genocide. And it took them a little while from March through April and May to come up with a plan to fucking tax him to the point where he'd have to shut up. Or give up all his profits, or they would fucking liquidate his fucking facility and shut down InfoWars and Prison Planet. I don't think that's a coincidence, Kyle Kulinski. I don't. And you might think your audience is stupid enough to believe, or shallow enough to think, well, yeah, they're the same thing. Alex Jones and Kyle Kulinski, yeah, they would definitely be treated the same way by the fucking Zionist. Well, you wouldn't, because Kyle Kulinski serves one thing. He's an ophthalmologist, and Alex Jones serves another. He's my fucking orthopedic surgeon. Do you understand the concept? Very good. I'm glad you do. I don't like having to repeat myself 27 times. I'm glad you do. One last thing here, and I'll leave it at this. I've had my issues with Disinfo Jones, which is what I called him. And I said in the fucking article that I just wrote yesterday that Alex Jones's job has always been to take issues of serious fucking concern, social, political, economic, mainly social, and some political, being looked at by serious researchers and serious journalists, investigators, and spin them on their head, to take up their side, spin them on their head, and then, by association, make everyone looking into those things look like fucking rabid jackasses. Because that's what his job is. To deflect, to distract, to do interviews with people. And, oh yeah, well, NASA's been putting kids on fucking ships for 30 years and sending them off to space to serve as super soldiers. to push disinformation. And to make us all look like fucking jackasses by association. I'm not associated with Alex Jones. Yeah, you will find some of my writing from back in the day on his website, still to this day. I didn't put it there. But I always had an open thing about my writing and my videos. As long as I get credit, I don't care. Put it wherever you want. He's got fucking readers looking at it, and there's ads all over the thing. I don't have any ads. Fine. I don't give a shit. I don't get any profit from it. I don't get any fucking percentage from it. I don't give a shit. As I said, the only fucking interaction I've ever had with anyone remotely close to him, aside from that, was his lawyer, which I did appreciate because it was helpful. As I was sitting there with a guy across the table from a very nice dude, but a guy who's paid double figures, millions of dollars a year to work for a very large legal firm. And I held my own pretty well, I think. Anyway, I have my issues, and I've had my issues, and I'm on record having issues with Alex Jones. But I think in this case, there's a case to be made. And if you can't make the case, if you can't see it as a potential, you're an idiot, Kyle Kulinski. Or you're a liar, Kyle Kulinski. If you can't see that the timing of this and the emergency action that they filed, these families, I'm not going to read the names of the families to you. I will tell you this. There are quite a few that might be Jewish. If you cannot fucking recognize the fact that this is an effort to tax a conspiracy theorist, even one that served their purposes in the past, when you go too far, they burn their fucking assets. They burned fucking Noriega. They burned Gaddafi. They burned Saddam Hussein. They burned their fucking assets when they're done with them. They could very easily, they are very easily doing this now with fucking Alex Jones. There's no question about that. And there's also no question in my mind that this emergency fucking action being taken to liquidate InfoWars and wipe it out because he's having an effect on letting people on the alt-right know, you know what? You can't argue about this being a fucking genocide anymore. Yeah, this is a guy who bragged about being connected to Mossad and was in the fucking orbit of Breitbart, which was born in fucking Tel Aviv. Is that your background, Kyle Kulinski? Are those the people that you fucking talk to every fucking day while you stare at yourself in the fucking monitor? It is very likely. It is very plausible. It is almost definite that this has everything to do with his take on fucking genocide in Gaza. I've always said, and I always will, you give credit where credit is due. Even when that credit, I can't believe I'm saying this, but even when that credit is due somebody who has just gone full Cyraxx. There's a lot of gray in this world we live in. I thank you for your time.